Welcome to Behind Sticks with your host Ham Solo. Today's guest we have Matt Likes Games. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm very good, man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, pretty good. Today is actually our very first episode. I really wanted to make this in this kind of day and age because a lot of people are, having a hard time with listening to fanboy talk, and I just wanted to bring a positive take out to the community. So I just want so what this show pretty much is Matt kind of describing who he is. I'm gonna ask him a few questions. I'm gonna also throw in a few kind of jokes, or I guess not really jokes, but I guess more or less questions that kind of makes him think quickly on his feet. So it's going to kind of sound like a joke later on, maybe, depending on how he answers these questions. So let's kind of get into it. But before we step completely into all the questions and everything, I just want to ask you, what gaming and social media platforms are you currently on?
Uh, Gaming platforms, I've got all of them really, but as far as online actively is usually PlayStation, Xbox. Um, Xbox at Anesthesia, that's all capitals AN3STH1A. And on PlayStation, it's Lucid Gaming 94, spelled funny, LOOSID Gaming 94, all one word.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I'm sure maybe somebody might want to hit you up for gaming or something like that. So, what kind of games are you kind of currently playing right now?
Uh, Man, I mean, we're going through Halo. Me and you are actually going through Halo right now.
Yes, we are
Uh,
crushing it.
yeah, we started some Gears of War. I play a lot of Forza. I've just gotten back into Skyrim. I mean, a lot of stuff, really. A lot of stuff.
All right, that's good. That's good to hear. So, so my first kind of zinger question to you is, without thinking or without overthinking,
Hmm.
what's the first game that comes to your mind when I say the console? Okay,
Okay. All right.
are you ready?
Yes.
N64,
Goldeneye,
PlayStation 1,
Evil Zone,
Xbox 360,
Halo 3.
Atari,
God, I don't even know. I don't even know.
Skip.
Yeah, skip that one.
All right, Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo, Super Mario Brothers,
Okay, PlayStation 3,
Resistance,
PlayStation 5.
PlayStation 5, Miles Morales,
Okay.
yes.
NES.
NES. That's tough, man. I want to say Super Mario also, just because Nintendo. When I think of Nintendo, I think of Super Mario.
All right. Here comes a
Yeah.
curveball. Are you
Okay.
ready?
Yeah.
Dreamcast.
Oh, 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 oh. There was a game. I don't remember what it was. It was a racer. It was a racer. I played it at a friend's house. I don't remember the name of it. I do not remember the name of it. It was boats. It was boats. It
I'm
was
guessing
racing
maybe
boats.
Hydro Thunder.
Hydro Thunder.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Nice. 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 All right. And then our last one, Series X and S.
Uh, Forza Horizon 5.
Okay. Wow. That
Yes.
hasn't even came out yet. But that's the
Not
first
yet.
thing
Not yet.
that's on your mind. Okay. I got you. All right. So let's take a little turn. What's a genre that you don't really enjoy that much?
Uh, yeah, I could say turn-based, but I want to go with like the Souls genre, and not because I don't like it, because I don't think I've given it a fair shot yet. So we'll see. Maybe I do end up liking it, but as of right now, doesn't seem like my thing.
Okay. Okay. All right. So now let's turn it back to the positive end. What are your three games of the year right now? And then pick out of those three the game of the year.
Cyberpunk 2077, Deathloop. Uh, the third one is tough. I would say, I'd say maybe Kena. Or you know what? I'll throw Miles Morales in there. Miles Morales.
Okay. Okay.
And out of those three, I'd say Cyberpunk wins it for me.
Oh man, that's a take right there.
Yeah,
You must really like Cyberpunk to
I
pick that
love
one.
Cyberpunk. Loved it.
That's
Loved it.
because that is a different take for some people, but I think it's more or less
Yeah.
for the quality of gameplay that they had
Yeah.
at the time. So it's understandable if you're like super
Mhm.
pissed off or you just refuse with that game because it did come out in shambles.
It really
It was
did.
sad. But all right. So, what's your favorite studio? Is it CD Projekt Red since you are saying Cyberpunk?
No, my favorite studio is Arcane. I've liked them ever since, loved them ever since I played the first Dishonored back on 360. I haven't played their games before that, but I mean, maybe one day I'll get back to them. But I mean, everything since then has been pretty much a banger from Arcane.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You know, I'm really excited for Redfall.
Yes,
That's
yes, yes,
gonna
yes.
that just sounds interesting. As soon as they said like it's gonna be kind of like Borderlands 3 with like
Yeah.
vampires, like I was like,
Yeah.
sign me up because I
100%.
played the living hell out of Borderlands
Mhm.
2 and 3. I beat 1, but just 2 and 3, specifically 2, is my absolute favorite.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people are. It's kind of weird. There's a lot of different answers you get from people. Some people say 1 is their favorite. Some
Yeah,
people
that's
say
true.
3. A lot of people say 3 is their favorite, and I'm one of those people that say 2 is my
2.
favorite just because of the siren. The siren was
Mhm.
absolutely unstoppable in 2.
Okay.
The phase lock would bounce from one person to another after you killed them, so you can just make it last almost forever is what it felt like.
Nice.
But okay, so what are the games that you are excited for that are going to be coming out?
Games I'm excited for. Obviously, Halo Infinite, Forza Horizon 5, Starfield next year.
Let's just
And
say,
then-
what's the number one game that like you just like are just gonna put everything down that you're playing
Halo
as soon
Infinite.
as it comes out?
Halo Infinite, 100%.
Halo Infinite. Okay.
100%.
Jeez Louise. How about next year though? How about 2022 since that's technically 2021?
Starfield, 100%.
Starfield. Okay.
Yeah.
All Xbox. So
Huge
you
RPGs.
didn't say God of War. You didn't
No.
say
Nope.
Horizon.
Nope. I'll play them. I love those games. I'll play them. I'm sure they'll be great. But Starfield and
yeah,
Halo.
you didn't even pick your favorite studio, where Redfall is coming out.
It's
So you must
it
be
is what
excited.
it is what it is. It's what it
It
is.
what it is. You're like no takebacks at all.
It is what it is.
I'm double down. All right,
100%.
All right, so now let's go back to old school because I just love nostalgia. Nostalgia is my thing. I am extremely excited for when I buy a house to just start collecting. I'm not finna pile up a bunch of stuff into my apartment right now. I know a lot of people are just cool and they want it now, but
Yeah.
I'm patient. I'm patiently waiting to make the right time to get that stuff. But while we're talking about old school stuff, I'd like to ask you if you were to revive 2 games, not franchises or anything like that, because I know there's a lot of old school good ones to me. Like I loved 989 Sports for some reason. But anyways, if you were to revive 2 games from any era ever, what 2 games would you revive and have like complete remakes of?
Resistance 1 on PlayStation 3. Number 2, I would like to revive, as in bring back, like reimagine Rise, Son of Rome.
Oh.
I would like, I don't care if it's a continuation, I don't care if it's a remake. Bring it back, update it for the consoles. I mean, put it on PlayStation if you want. I really don't care. But bring that game back, let people play it, because that game is truly, truly underrated.
Okay. You know, the 2 games, and I think I told you this the other day. Like, you asked me this kind of question one day, I might give you one answer. You
Yeah.
ask me it another day, I might give you another answer. Just kind of depends on where my head's at and what kind of games I really want to play. Like, if you
Hmm.
were to ask me what two games I'd like to revive, I would say Def Jam Vendetta, because
Yeah.
that game was absolutely insane, and it was just cool watching something fake, but like you got to get in there and just act ridiculous with some of your favorite artists in music.
Yeah.
And I think they should open that up to more genres because I think that would be
Uh,
so
hmm.
crazy. But and then the second one would be Midnight Club Dub Edition, and it's just strictly because that game was so much fun, and it really
Yeah.
looked nice for the time.
Hmm.
It was like an
Really did.
amazing looking game. So if I could reimagine, driving 180 miles an hour in an Escalade, that would be absolutely dope.
Yep.
All right, so now let's go on ahead and ask you maybe kind of a rough question.
Okay.
Um, what frustrates you about gaming?
A
Like
lot of the
anything.
a lot of the same formula being used, and I know the topic is on Ubisoft right now, but I mean in general, I you could do the same thing for no console wars, truly no console wars. But you could do the same thing for PlayStation. You could also do the same thing for Xbox with like FPS
A
games
lot
and
of
shooters.
FPS games, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, so I think like there needs to be something, and I don't know what it is, so I'm of no help. But there needs to be something that comes in and refreshes it. Like I think them bringing back Splinter Cell, uh, probably could, if they do it right, it could help to bring back the stealth genre in a huge way. So that's one more thing that we have going today. That's not just third person action adventure, FPS, or open world. You know?
You got to be so careful with putting out a new, not exactly so much with putting out a new game, even though yeah, you got to be careful with that. But you got to be really careful with remaking a game. Like
Yes.
remaking a game is dangerous territory, and
Yes.
like you're opening up yourself to criticism and to get yelled at, and I mean. You don't even have a new game in. I mean, you don't even have a remake out of Blue Box right now, and they're receiving crazy stuff like death threats and
Yeah, I
whatnot.
saw that.
So
I saw
like,
that.
so like, it's crazy just where we are with gaming and like how. I mean, this is why people are so scared to release information. Is because as soon as you release information, no matter how positive it is, or maybe it's a little negative, but it's for the better, it's gonna get stomped on, it's gonna get flipped upside down, and it's just gonna get lit on fire. So I
Yep.
mean, and that's with any gaming community, with Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox. If people want to point fingers and say, "Oh, Xbox acts this way," like let's cancel their type of community, or
Yeah.
PlayStation is dangerous, or no, it's not any consoles in particular. It's just some bad people in the community. I mean,
Yeah.
it's no different than going to school. You know those fools at school that you're just like, stay away from those
Yeah.
people. They're
one
wild.
hundred
They are
percent.
completely out of pocket, and I don't feel safe around them. It's no
Hmm.
different in this community. But anyways,
Yeah.
moving on to something maybe more positive instead of a hot take. Um, what got you into gaming in the first place? I mean, you
Uh.
you play a lot of different stuff, so let's hear it.
Yeah. Well, my first console was the PlayStation 1, and I got that right at the tail end, like right before the PS2 came out, and then I got a PS2. But I mean, the first thing, like things like Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, um, the first game I ever truly like loved and genuinely thought was amazing was Halo CE. So I would say also the original Xbox. But I mean, yeah, things like Halo, Unreal Tournament, all the games that you would expect a kid to play, like Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, Ape Escape on PlayStation One, stuff like that, got me really into it.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, I hear you. My first console was a Sega Genesis, and one of my first games was Road Rash 2. Absolutely loved that game.
Mm-hmm.
Just because that game was, back in the day, there was no memory cards or anything like that for any of
Oh
those
yeah.
consoles. So you had to write down your password and continue from that save. So it'd be like a 12 number and letter password.
Damn.
And then
Yeah.
and yeah, I had the notebook where I
Mm-hmm.
wrote down my passwords for stuff like that, and I also wrote down cheat codes that I'd find and
Okay.
whatnot. Because they had the game genies and stuff like that that gave you the cheat codes, but some of them you'd have to look up and find or buy books
Oh
to get.
yeah.
So that was a wild time in gaming. Everyone just
Mm-hmm.
uses their phone and stuff now.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. What do you enjoy outside of gaming? Like, other than
Uh,
holding the controller, hanging out at the crib, what do you like to do?
my thing outside of gaming really is playing bass. I play bass guitar. That's probably, I mean, outside of gaming, that brings me probably the most joy, just because I mean, you can do whatever you want really musically, and you're always learning. So I really enjoy that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So the very last question that I have for you is, I want you to describe gaming in 3 words.
That is really tough. Gaming in 3 words. It's very fun. You know,
Okay.
I that's really what comes to mind, because it is. It is. And
I love
if
the
you enjoy it,
simplicity.
then it truly is one of the most fun things you can do.
And by the way, anybody that ever sees this episode, I'm going to be asking every single person that question. So you better think and remember what you got, because I could see my boy Matt right here was just thinking on his feet right there.
Yes.
He was thinking on his feet. All right, well, I'd like to thank our first guest to our first episode, Matt Likes Games. Thank you for coming out. I learned a lot about you today. I did not know that you played bass guitar, which is
Yes.
really
Yes.
nuts. I got to learn a little bit about your backstory and what really got you into gaming. So it was a pleasure.
I thank you for having me on. Thank you for having me on. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Really
awesome.
enjoyed it.
Good. Well, if you'd like to see any more episodes of Behind Them Sticks, definitely hit your boy up on YouTube. I will be sharing this out via Twitter and Facebook as well. You can follow me at HamSolo05 Gaming. Everybody, have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you.
What did you get done playing last night? Oh, okay, I'm not picking up your audio, so just a second. What part of Skyrim are you even in?
Dude, I've beat, on the save I have right now, I've beat the main story. I've beat the DLCs. I've done everything. I've pretty much just got a bunch of side quests. Video game. So I don't know what. Oh, 1 second.
That's how it goes sometimes. That's how computers are, bro. Can't do anything about it.